Right guys, update. Where were we yesterday? Oh, yesterday we were putting these pipes on, weren't we? I've dug it back out. I've dug that old Benelli back out again. It looks... Problem is with it, I need to put it back away because I will sit and stare at it all afternoon. But I've got it out so we can have a look at it. And then I'm going to dig that Parilla out. I'm just going to try and finish that off because then I can get... When he books a ferry for Hardman, he said, when you want me to pick it up? I said, whenever you want. So I assume soon. He's got it. Obviously, if you're coming over from Hardman, you probably want to mix a few, although he's not just going to come from Hardman, drive here, pick up bike, go. It's supposed to be a cheap ferry. If he gets a day return, they do day returns, I think, for residents, so they can go shopping in Liverpool. He could possibly do that. He could probably get morning boat over, drive up here, get more night boat back, and it'll be cheap, day rover kind of thing. That's probably going to be his plan. It might be like a couple of £100 return then. Instead of it, like when we go to Hardman, it's £300-400 or whatever. So yeah, let's have a look. I can't think of anything else. It's just looks too good. Distracted by the pipes. Honestly, you could look at them forever. I've looked at them, and they are... Right, let's have a look. So, there she is over there. We might as well start with this though, eh? Because that's exactly the same. It's exactly the same, apart from I've modified the megas on both. So I've got all these megas over here still. These are part of what makes up the 6. I can't remember what I've got there, but I think they might be the 3. So I've got one side, plus they're the 2 bottom megas off of Benelli. So yeah, just call them bottom Benellis. Call them 2 top Hondas. This one's a bottom Benelli. So yeah, all 3 of them are the same, bottom Benellis. They'll work on everything else that's a 4, and then you can either use one of these for a twin, one of these for a twin, or one of these for a twin, or 2 of them if you get me, depending on how much kick-up you want on them. So I think I've fitted a pair of them to a Triton, and it looked well good with a set of them on. The only Triton with a set of curvy pipes, I think. Sorry, just burping up my coffee there. Yeah, so that's it. So I tried them megas behind me over there. On this, the Honda 4 megas. He didn't like them mainly because they stuck out here, they went up to the back wheel. So we tried some other megas. We tried these ones on end and they were too small. So I said, I'll have a play about with these. I got them positioned a bit better and he was quite happy with them. He's basically then sent me a message back saying, what about if you chop 4 inches off the end? So this section here, as you see, it just stops on a curve. The bend comes up and it stops. It's got no straight in it. Straight of it should have been about there, because it should have had 4 inches on the end of it. So they're the same megas as what's fitted to that Benelli down there, which you probably won't believe because they'll look totally different. But yeah, we've got them on there without the straight. Come round here, let's have a look at this beauty. Look how good that looks with them on. So we've got the same thing. We're going to have a look at these megas, which look mint in this black paint, black Cerakote. Basically, so his megas are stopped there, aren't they? So we've just got the bend and then cut them short. The 4-inch texture to there, this customer with Benelli, so that would have been the end of the mega, asked me to leave 2 inches on the end. So the other ones I've chopped 4 inches off. So these are 6 inches or so longer than they are. And that's why I've been trying to sell them to everyone. And everyone's like, will they fit this? Will they fit that? Will they fit this? Well, that's it. I've got them on a Benelli there. The 2 inches longer than the last Benelli 6 I've done. I've also got them on an Honda 4 in a Norton frame there. I've had them on a Triton twin. I'm still planning to put 2 of them, just the top 2 there. Put the top 2 on me XS650. Run both pipes down this side, twist them up into 2. I've put 2 of them on an Honda 4, so I did 4 pipes down into a Y junction, run them into 1 mega. I've fitted them to everything, basically. And they always fit. They take a bit of work, but yeah, they tend to always fit with a little bit of work. So these are looking sweet. You can't see the ends of them, but roughly there's a big hole there. It's a fairly big hole as well. They're the baffles that are fastened in. So I've got, like I say, the screw on the top there and a little screw here on bottom on each pipe. Screw on bottom, screw on bottom. And then a screw on top on opposite side. Where is that? There. They're just holding them baffle plates in. So when he fires that up, it's not going to be too noisy. It'll still be noisy, I think, because I've put some big holes in baffles, but it'll just take the edge off it. And then when he opens it up onto full pipes, I've got a video of the last one I did. Basically, that's just a straight 6, so it'll sound like a Jaguar, or it'll sound like an old Formula 1 car. It just sounds nasty, 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 nasty. Yeah, like I say, this guy lives in Isle of Man, so I sent him a message the day saying, I hope one day that I see this down at Peel. They have a bike show down at Peel, and they take Honda 6s down there, a lot of GP bikes. Well, them pipes on their own deserve to be in GP field, don't they? With all your works bikes at your bike show, next to all your Manx Nortons and your Honda 6s, and yeah, that's what it looks like on the other side. I'm still a little bit miffed off that side there's about 5mm lower to the floor than this side is. But the customer's alright with it. I cleared it all with him and he just says, well, yeah, that's the way it is, isn't it? You've put all them together and you're only 5mm out. Oh, I just whacked my head on that. That's so high. Yeah, you probably heard that ding that we had. So yeah, I've not got much else to say about it, to be honest with you. Just that it just looks good. Maybe you should just sit there and look at it for let you have a look at it. All them nice sandbent pipes look really good with the little gold toppers, don't they? Them little brass nuts. I don't think they are brass. I think they're just like anodised gold. I think they're probably aluminium. They have little gold toppers on top of carbs as well. Have you seen these? I think I might tell customer that it might be an idea to take these little nuts out of each pipe, warm them up with blowtorch, and they'll go gold as well. Then it'll match wheel and everything. I didn't think about that at the time because I didn't think about how it would look on the black. That black that still looks, in real life that still looks black, but yeah, on here it looks grey. But either way, it looks mint. Just let you sit there and look at that. Maybe I should just give you some more close-ups there. You know what's not really showing up? And I said I'd show you once I'd put them on. Is that Raysons logo? It even says it won't focus on that. It shows up better than it does on camera than it does in real life. Like I say, because these pipes are going really white in real. I like whitey grey colour, and then in real life they are the black, matte black, and they just don't show up because they're a shadow. But that's how I wanted to when I designed that metal stamp. So I made this myself, or designed it myself, this metal stamp, and I sent it to a company in America, and they've made them into stamps for me, into metal stamps. And that was my plan. My plan was that it doesn't show up that much. To just hammer that in. And it's faint, so it's not detracting from the look of the bike. Some other companies, they like rivet brass plates on there that say Raysons, and then it just stands out, doesn't it? You see it from about 6 miles away. You have little gold plates on it, and it just wrecks the look. I think it makes it look a bit cheap enough. Whereas that just looks GP. Like, you don't want big stickers on it, do you? You want it to look like a proper factory vintage GP bike. You don't get no better than that. I don't think you get any better than that. You know, it's just the swan of that. You can just admire just looks like a set of wings, doesn't it? Because they're all like in line with each other there. It never steps below the line of the pipe, and then it just twists and fans out. It's just delicious. Like I say, I can't stop looking at it. Imagine that just going ram, 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 ram. That's what that's going to sound like. Something like that. So yeah, so that's the end of your viewing experience, I think. Next plan. Put the Benelli back because it's a bit in the way. Get this Parilla out, and we need to do now a little grab rack on back. So I'll get them out and I'll do a bit of weighing it up, and I'll show you when I start doing it. But basically I need to chop these 2 back rails off. They've got these little eyes on end of them, and I'm going to put in a 5-inch piece in there, and then move the eyelet to the end so that eye will be down here. It needs a boss pudding in it there, a boss pudding in it in the end of this piece, so that piece will be down there. So there'll be a boss there and a boss where my thumb is, and then this section will be welded onto the end of that, and that'll make, it just makes a mounting for a little bag rack, a little, I don't even know what they're called at the moment. I'm still flipping blown away by them Benelli parts behind me. It needs a little mud, so it needs a mud guard on it, needs a little bag rack on back. And we need some way of mounting that. So yeah, on the, on the drawings in here. This is probably the best way of explaining it. There we go. Let me try and find some focus because you're all on shiny paper again. That's what I need to make. So at the moment, the end of that rail stops there, where that dot is, where he's marked it. Widen rail, frame rails to provide tyre clearance, and mount carrier loop for guard. So it also needs a little grab handle at back there. And then basically what they've done, yeah, they just extended that rail down, and then they made that grab rack as a separate piece, I think, because there is that prototype bike, so you can still see it on that. Always hidden behind that number plate. There's only one photograph without the number plate on it. It's this one. So that's what I need to do. Hold on. I need to. We've got a little rack and attached to a mud guard that he's got off a different bike, and I'm going to modify the rack and put these extra legs on it. But we need to put a boss there, and then that bolt there at the end. That'll be the last little eyelet on the end. And then that's a loop bolted onto the ends of the rails, which I've already got somewhere on my bench, somewhere in this bloody massive workshop. I have got them parts somewhere. Might just be underneath that. Oh yeah, there it is. So we're going to use that as the grab. Whoa, megas. Whoa, nearly. We're going to use this as the grab rail, basically, because it's already the right size. So we need to mount it between the shockers, because these need straightening out. See that they taper in towards the tyre. They need to run back in a straight line. So they will be as wide as them shockers. We'll run it back in a straight line. And that I bent for a fork stay for retrograde. He builds Triumphs, and he was building a little, what are they, a T90 Tiger, little Tiger Cup dirt bike, trail bike, flat tracker, and he wanted a fork steady, like what you'd have on a Steve McQueen bike. It's basically, where is the bike? Plonk that over there and mount it between the forks, stiffen forks up. But that one will be one too many. I just made one extra, I think. I thought, I might fit it to me XS 650. But yeah, it was going to work sweet for putting it on there and then having it as a little grab rail from side on, have it angled up like that. So they just wants the ends flattening out on it and an hole drilling in. That's one part done. That's my little bag rack that I need to modify. I think he's going to order a new mudguard. The mudguard weren't wide enough, so we're going to get some new mudguards, modify that rack. But yeah, first of all, I need to modify them tubes on the back. So we'll pull that out. We'll get this away, this old Benelli. We'll get the Parilla out. I'm going to do some work on that. I'll come back to you later in the afternoon. Whoa, it's dark over there, and it's dark. All lights are bust out. The light above my head. That way. Yeah, it's all back to front, isn't it? Yeah, that light above my head. That just went out the other day. They do it constantly. There's always one of them out. I change one of them, and then next one will pop. Oh, that one's out up there as well. There's two out at the moment. Maybe three. 1, 2, 3. Maybe 4. Maybe 4 out of the 10. Not too bad. Not got down to halfway yet, so we don't need to change them. Yeah, right, I'll come back halfway through. I'll just get some of these moved on. If I don't come back today, I'll show you what I've done tomorrow. But yeah, that Benelli's looking good. I need to probably get outside, stick it in front of the door, take some photographs of it. That might be day comes though, so I'll keep you updated. And yeah, I'll come back to you soon. Once that Parilla's done, I'm going to finish this Honda Tron. Honda Tron sounds miles better. I'll be back. Right guys, update. I was just about to crack on without you then. And then I realised it was something interesting. I keep doing that. I miss the interesting bits out of the videos. I'm on with this Parilla. That's not a Parilla. That's an Honda in a Norton frame in it. But it just thought it'd look good for you. Put an episode 100 and whatever up there. A little Raysons thing here. Right across the bottom of here. This is not a Parilla. So yeah, I'm not on with that. That's good. That's going to be tomorrow's job, I think. But Parilla Man's going to come back down tomorrow to have a look at what I've done this week. I've not done now. I've looked at it. I thought about doing the chop last night, and then one of my dad's mates come down, so we talked about motorbikes. We had a look at Sunbeam over there. He's into motorbikes, so I grew up with him. He used to come trials riding with him and his lad. When I were a little lad, when I was learning how to trials ride, I went trials riding with his lad. He didn't have a van, so they used to throw their bikes in the back of my dad's van, and we'd go up quarry. So yeah, we've got a lot of time for him. So it was just one of them. It got to about 3 o'clock. I was just going to cut this, and he called round on his bike, and I just thought, right, let's just pack it. Well, I didn't even pack everything up, and I got everything out for him. Just took all sheets off. We had a look at all bikes. I wanted to show off my Benelli pipes, obviously, to someone. So I've come in today, I've done the chop, because I'd already sussed it out yesterday, done all marking. It's down here. But that's better to look at, it for now. And I've got a bit of a problem. We knew we had a problem to start off with. We're going to graft a bit of tubing to extend the back rails. We feel like it would have been a factory job. I'll spin it around and give it a look. I think we've discussed it before. So we've got that. This is the little Parilla. The later ones are called Wildcats, but this is just like a 6-day trials bike, an enduro bike. Made out of a road trim bike, which a lot of enduro bikes from that time were just road bikes converted. So we're doing the conversions, and one of them, we think, is they've got a standard frame and extended the back rails. A lot of people will come in and think that bike was specially made to go enduro riding, but it's not. This happens a lot. It happens everywhere. It still happens now. So you're making a prototype. You've got a box. You might have a pile of 100 of these frames for road bikes, or if you've not got the frames built up, you might have a box of these. I've cut a bit off that, so ignore that. But yeah, you might have a box. You might have 100 of these, 500 of these, 1,000 of these bends made, and they're just piled up, ready to be made into frames. So they've drawn a prototype, which I've got over here, aren't they? They've drawn the prototype, and the same thing when I used to do car design. I did car design at uni. And to keep costs down, you want to use as many standard parts as you can, because then you don't have to have them remade. So we've done a similar thing with exhaust. That's a standard pipe down to there with a bend put on the end of it. So the guy that's bending it just bends it to his same pattern that he's got. All he does, he leaves that much on end, and he just flicks it up when he's doing it. So he make 100 standard pipes, and then he'll just make 4 or 8 or something with a little bend on the end. Same with the silencers. He makes the silencer bodies, or he's already got them in a box sat there. He's got all these ends trimmed up, ready to weld in, and he just welds them up differently. Or he gets a full silencer off the shelf that he's already finished. He unbrazes that, cranks it down, brazes it back up again. That's all he would have done. And that's the same with this frame rail. So you see this frame rail, that's what we've got round to there. So I've cut it off back at Shocker, and I've done that because there is a photograph of when they built this bike first time. So that's them sat outside the workshop, Parilla guys. If you see, look, there's a Parilla truck in background. These boxes here look like they're all full of Parilla bikes. So, yeah, they're bite-sized crates, aren't they, with Moto Parilla on the side of it. So that's what we're looking at. And if you see there, that's the shocker mount. So I've put a cut there. Then there's a boss to hold this frame, this bag rack, piece of tube, boss, the end. That end there, me and customer decided what that probably is the end that we're already on the frame here. What they've done is cut it off there and moved it to the end. It could actually be similar to what. So this is made out of 30mm tube, and the closest you can get is 32 or 28.5, and that bit of tube there might be skinnier. But the problem I'm having is when you it will step back up, so it won't look that bad stepping it down, I don't think, because this grab rail on back's going to be even skinnier again. So if you stepped it down, it'd be alright, but then you'd have to put the flat on the end of this piece of tube that you're grafting in. We decided, instead of making a mess of that flat end, is to use the end that they've already got, which they might have done, but you cannot get 30mm tube. Well, you probably can. I think I've maybe sussed out what that is. So I've got 32 or I've got 28.5, something like that. It's 28.5 or 31.5, I think, and I need 30, so it's a wall thickness out. So what they probably have done is got 28.5 and made out of 2mm thick. They've used the internal size. I think it's pipe instead of tube, because tube's measured on the outside, pipe's measured on the inside. So I think they've got the right size bore and then made it slightly thicker wall to get the tube size at 30. That sounds like something that would work out right. I can't do that. I've looked everywhere to find some oddball sizes, because you get bits of tube and like you buy a batch of them, they'll be wrong size. They might be a little bit too big or a little bit too small, which I've actually worked with recently. The tailpipe on this silencer is supposed to be 1 5/8, but it was slightly undersized. Couldn't get it on the bar, so I knew that it was tight anyway. And then I measured the outside, it was slightly undersized, so it was just all slightly undersized. Maybe when they were cutting the strips, it's just a little bit shy. So my plan is, one plan was to just use the smaller size and just suck in and see. But then I did have a brainwave as I was going round. I found these bits of tube. They're made out of slightly thicker wall. It's not quite 1.5. It's not 1.5 and it's not quite 1.2. So it's slightly thicker than standard. And what I've done is I've drawn. This is 32mm. So what I've done is drawn a line down there and then drawn another line 6mm apart. When I chop that out, it's pi's 3.142 in it. So a quick way of measuring that is just to use 3mm. So take a mil out of the diameter. You need to take 3mm out of the circumference. Rough rule of thumb. Because I'm only roughing it with grinders, it's going to be close enough, I think. And then same again. So take another mil out of it. So shrink it down by 2mm. I need to take 6 out of it. So then 2 lines there are 6mm apart. I'm going to now. I've cut that line in already. I'm going to cut down that side of that line, down middle side. So on that side of it. That should drop out that sliver and just tighten up the vise, tack it, weld it. Then it should come out at 30mm. Hopefully, that's the plan. And then these are the ends. So when I squeeze that up, it's too big at the moment. Yeah, focus is shite on this camera. Yeah, so you see, it's stepping over by a wall thickness. So yeah, when I chop that out and squeeze it up, hopefully it'll marry up with that, which is the end with an eyelet in it, and then I can weld that to that and weld that to the frame. Plan was to drill probably be about 20mm, maybe 18mm. Drill a 18mm hole is there, say. Make a boss for it. Drill it, tap it. 8mm, yeah, because we're on an Italian bike, aren't we? European threads. Yeah, put an M8 boss in there. And then the other one will be about here somewhere. I think they need to be about 8 inches apart. So me and customer were saying, well, if we have them like this, instead of trying to drill one up bike, it's a lot easier to do, and I can put this in, what's that called? That a pillar drill. I can put that in pillar drill an hole in it. Instead of trying to drill an 18mm hole in there, just would have been impossible, wouldn't it, with an hand drill to drill an hole that big. So that's the plan. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'll just cut that out now. I'll trim the next bit out of that. And then we'll have a look at it. I could possibly set you up on bice. It's all be all sparky. I don't really like doing that because it's just covers camera in shite, doesn't it? Get it all covered in metal dust, and the next thing you know, you probably won't be able to hear me because that microphone will be covered in metal dust. But the spark should be coming my way and not your way. So I'm just setting this up now. Just winding you down. And let's get you hooked up on there. Lighting's better on this side, isn't it, when there's no light bulbs out. I've got, yeah, surrounded by light here. That's been another thing, hasn't it, with this focusing, I think. Oh, you're getting a good focus on that, aren't you? Right. Let's find my Christmas present. I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but my mum made me a leather apron out of an old settee that one of the mates were throwing away. She basically, they took it up to the tip and she stripped all leather off it first because she makes clothes. You want to see me? There we go. So that is someone's leather settee repurposed into a nice little bib for me so I don't burn holes in my jumper. I don't know if this jumper's got an hole in it. I think it might be an alright one. But yeah, let's get you back on there. Sometimes I won't put it on if it's only a little cut. If I'm just doing a little bit of grinding, I'm not too bothered. But when you're doing a long cut like that, it'll fill my pockets full of dust. I've got some big pockets in there, you can't see, but yeah, some big pockets in there, and that's all full of metal dust in bottom. Goggles on, let's do a cut. That there being my red hot sliver. That's probably more like 4 mil or something now, innit? Because it'll cut. They've got the width of the disc involved in that. So then now, just do that, and you might have to do that in a couple of directions. So like you do that way, it'll leg it. But then if you do it in the opposite direction, it'll bring it back. And what we need to do is get a tack on there, I think now, squash it up. Get a tack on there with tick. And probably this end needs a little bit more squashing than that end did. It's not bang on right, but it's a lot closer than it were. I say that's egged, so if I egg it the other way, come bring it back, should work. Right, we know that TIG welding does not work on this camera. I don't know why. You just get too much glare. No point in showing you, you just see this big blue light. I mean, just a fill camera out, I think, with that blue light. So I'll tack it now, weld it. Probably do the same with the other one. I've got my other one to do. Might as well tack that while it's still in my store. I'll tack that up. So get both in, get grinder and welder set up here now. What have I got plugged in? Right. I probably just left you hanging there again, didn't I? Sorry, just left you halfway through the conversation. Right, so yeah, right. Welder's on. It's whistling away. I'll tack it, do see what we look like. Run a weld down it. Give you a show, but I think that's going to be spot on. Just having a look at that in there, where how much it's egged and how much it's shy. It's only a couple of mil shy, but it's egged the other way for a couple of mil. So I just want to squash that back round. Should work. Hopefully, I think it'd be better than using just a standard tube anyway. So, right, I'll be back home. I'm going to move you away, get you out of dust and all that stuff, and I'll be back soon. We'll have a look at it on bike.